Hi everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at page 4 in your lesson book, so go on ahead and open up to that. And you can see that this page is broken into two sections. The top section we're going to be learning about something called a natural harmonic, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then the bottom section, we're actually going to start learning how to shift. So we've been playing in third position, and then cellos, it is a little different. You have been shifting already. But for violins and violas, we've just been playing in third position. Now we're going to be working on that motion back and forth with our left hand, which is really important. But right now, we're going to take a look at the yellow box on the top of the page that says natural harmonic. And if you read the first sentence there, it says natural harmonics are tones created by a vibrating string divided into equal sections. So there's different ways of playing natural harmonics on your instrument, but the one we're learning today it says dividing into equal sections. We're dividing it in half, dividing our string in half. So before you even look at the notes on the page, I'm going to show you this technique, how to play this note. So when you look at your instrument, we're looking to divide the string in half, but we have to know what is the actual length of our string. And that has to do with where the stopping points, where the string itself is being stopped on our instrument. So the first stopping point is up here, right where the string meets the fingerboard up here. You can see that it's stopped. Nothing is vibrating up in here when we play our instrument. The vibration starts here. And it ends down on the bridge, right? When you play, this stuff down here doesn't vibrate. All of the vibration occurs from up here all the way to the bridge. So if I wanted to divide my strings in half, it would be somewhere around here is the halfway point. When you play a natural harmonic, the amazing thing about this, and there's a lot of science, a lot of physics behind this, is that if you take your finger and you very gently, not hover, but place it on the string without pressing down at the exact halfway point, it will play a note. Let me show you what that sounds like. I'm going to do it on the D string. It's going to sound like this. I'm not pressing, and you see none of my other fingers are down. This doesn't work if other fingers are down. The book is going to tell violins and violas to use your pinky, and cellos and bass to use your ring finger, your third finger. I actually would recommend everyone uses their third finger. I think that's easier. But it's your choice if you're a violin and viola. But I'm not pressing, I'm just placing it. And then it's going to sound like this. Now, here's the neat thing about a natural harmonic. Some people might refer to it as like a magic note, because if you're in the wrong spot with your finger, the note won't sound. So let me find the note, and now let me back up a little bit with my finger. Nothing's coming out. Well, stuff's coming out, but nothing that sounds good. And as you slide up, you eventually hit the note, and if you go too far, it stops again, right? That's different than when you're actually pressing down, right? And if I move my finger, it just becomes an out of tune note. For the harmonic, it won't sound unless you're in the exact correct spot. So that's a good thing to know. Now, if you press your finger down, it will also play a note, but we're working on the harmonic for today. So we're going to practice going up on the D string, splitting it exactly in half, very lightly putting our finger down, not pressing. And it should be this nice, beautiful, airy sound. Now, that will happen at that same spot on every string. And the note that is coming out is exactly 1 octave higher than the open string. So if I have open D, the harmonic is also a D, but 1 octave higher. So that's what we mean when we say a natural harmonic. So go ahead and take a look at number 13 in our lesson book, and ignore the first 2 notes because we know those. Those are easy. Those are open D. But look at the third note. And the third note looks something like this, okay? You'll notice if it didn't have this symbol on top of it, it would be a high D, right? Either for violins and violas, 3 fingers on the A string. If you're a cello, it would be 4 fingers on the A string, right? Those are the 2 notes we're dealing with here. Well, that little circle on top is indicating that they want us to play it as a natural harmonic. Remember, I said the natural harmonic is 1 octave higher than the open string, which makes it a high D. So you might have if you were really listening, heard that this sounds the same as. So it's two different ways of playing the same pitch. So we know that when we see the circle over the note, that means they want us to play the harmonic. So we're not doing high D on the A string, we're playing it as the harmonic, hovering up and playing it on the D string. So I hope that makes sense to everyone. What we're going to do right now is play 13. And in 13, you actually can just keep your hand right up here. So my whole hand comes up, my thumb is basically stopped at the highest point that it can stop. And it's the same idea with cello. You might have to stretch a little further to reach it on cello. But we're going to play number 13, so either your finger is off for open D or it's down on the D string for the D harmonic. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. If you can play that, then you can play 14 too. Let's give 14 a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. All right, 15 and 16 are basically the same thing, but on the A string. So I know if you're a viola or a cello, that third note looks very high, but that's just the A harmonic, your A harmonic. So on the A string, it's in the same spot, just over on the A string. So let's go through and play 15 and 16. Here's 15, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 16, I have to flip, but you don't. Here's 16, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I messed up. I'm sorry. Here's 16 again. Ready, and. Awesome. Nicely done. Okay, so now we're looking at the yellow box that says shifting on the bottom, or in the middle of the page. And it says to shift, you're going to slide your left hand smoothly and lightly to a new location on the fingerboard. And the really important thing is that a shift is often indicated with a dash in front of the note. So some of you have run into this already, but if you haven't, let me show you. If you see a note and it says, with a fingering over it, maybe it says negative, or not, well, it says dash 1. A lot of students will say, what's a negative 1 finger? How do I play with negative 1 fingers? The dash doesn't mean negative. It means to get to this first finger, you had to shift. So you're going to see that throughout this book. And that's one way that a shift will be indicated. And that's something that you'll see all through out the rest of your time playing an instrument. So the idea, starting with 17, is that we're going to play notes, have our hand down here, and then move it up. And we're always going to be going up to find that harmonic. They're having us do that because that's a really easy note to find. You don't have to land with your finger pressed down in the right spot. You'll know you're at that harmonic because it's going to play. And if you're in the wrong spot, it's not going to play anything. So we don't have to worry so much about being in tune. So 17... Sometimes we have open Ds, and for the open D, just bring your hand back here and practice the motion, right? The whole reason to do this is to practice this motion. When you get to the third measure, we then have E. We have to put down 1 finger on the D string and then go back up for the shift. So make sure you're really paying attention to what these, the notes they're asking you to play. So here we go, 17. Nice smooth shifts up to the harmonic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now E. Awesome. 18 is probably 18 and then 20, because 19 and 20 are the same thing, but on the A string, 18 is one of the more challenging ones. There's no rest, and you're moving your hand back and forth the whole time. So let's take a minute and try 18 together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, F sharp, awesome. All right, so and then you can do 19 and 20 on your own because they're basically the same thing. But now, so we've learned the harmonics and then also that idea of shifting back and forth. And on the next page, page 5, we're really going to get into doing a lot of shifting. So it's important that we have this idea down of that smooth motion of our hand to shift up and down. So take some time to work through these. It might take a little while. Don't get discouraged if you can't get it the first time. And we'll play them together in your lesson.